if you jumped in this video and the length is daunting, check the description. I will have some timestamps to each section of the topic at hand, and you can jump around to your liking. Everybody take care out there in the community. Hello out there in the community. It's Chris. It's the Mad Respect. I want to kick it off by saying I hope everybody had the very merriest of Christmases out there in the community, and I'm decked out in some Christmas gear to kick off this video. From waist to tip of my head, I got my two of my presents on. I got a really nice Cleveland Browns team starter jacket from the NFL team store. Thank you to my wife, who also got me this nice Marvel Studios, Marvel Cinematic Universe, an official timeline. It has a foreword by Kevin Feige, and it's from DK Books, who has a history with big official timeline books. They've done an official timeline of Marvel Comics, of DC Comics, of Harry Potter, of Aliens, of Hunger Games, of everything. So I assume this book is new this year, and I know specifically these are sold during the holiday season at Costco, and we unsurprisingly just signed up for our own Costco membership the week before Christmas. So I'm 100% sure that is where my wife acquired this for me. So I just wanted to show off a few of my gifts that I received for Christmas this year. And to kick off the video, I'd just like to let you know that my missing shipment from the discount comic book service was repicked for me for discount comic book service. My original shipment was shipped to another apartment complex on our same street. I tracked down where the photograph showed my comics as going, and by the time I contacted the tenant of that apartment, which is the same apartment number as mine, just a different set of apartments, they claimed to have been gone during the weekend it arrived, and received nothing from the mailman. So I told that to Discount Comic Book Service, and a few days later they sent me a notice saying that they would repick my order and send it back out, and it finally showed up just before Christmas. I filmed the unboxing video and some reviews for that previously, and the battery on my recording apparatus gave out towards the end of my filming, and when I recharged it and booted it back up, it did not save anything that I had recorded, so that video is lost to time. So I will still go through some brief reviews. I did them off the dome the first time. I'm a little more, I can chop it up a little bit better this time because I've done it once already. And then I cannot rebox my unboxing, but I will show off my repicked order. These are books that released the last week of November in 2023. All right, so let's start with the reviews. We'll start off with new number ones. We got new number one here. This is Stuff of Nightmares Sleigh Ride one-shot special from Boom Studios. This is by R.L. Stein, and the art is by P.S. Bach, with colors by Francesco Sigala. Unfamiliar with that artistic team, but it was a fun one-shot story. I have previously read the Stuff of Nightmares, the Nightmare Makers original miniseries that Boom put out earlier this year. I checked that out from the library. And this one is obviously a Christmas special. It's about a washed up, substance abusing mall Santa who is let go for cause a week before Christmas. And they tell him that the Santa's Playland exhibit at the mall is being canceled that this year, and he no longer has a job there, and they fire him for cause with no severance and no notice. So he goes and spends part of the issue at a local bar where other mall Santas from other malls congregate after work, and then he's thrown out of his mall by the mall cop, and so him and two other disgruntled mall Santas hatch up a plan that they're going to rob the rich neighborhoods in town and steal back the presents from them to then resell to these malls that they work at and make good for themselves. And then when the time comes to begin this robbery spree, neither of the other two Santas buck up and show up at the meeting place, but our main disgruntled Santa character is like, well, I'll just do it myself. And the rest of the issue shows him robbing various businesses and homes. And then the beginning it has a flash forward to the Santa robbing a home and murdering a girl's parents before leaving with all the presents in the house. And then it has the flashback of him being fired, and then cuts back to more present time. He's busy robbing and breaking and entering various houses and businesses, and the mall cop knows it's him and is decided to take it on himself to be a one-man stop for this evil Santa. And at the end, the evil Santa, I believe, ends up burning to death, and then the mall cop, I believe, had to make the ultimate sacrifice to ultimately end him. But it was fun. I've been enjoying these R.L. Stine comic series as he's writing for adults as opposed to his Goosebumps written for teens, preteens and teens. And I can't say if it's better than that because I was already a young adult, probably 17 to 20, when Goosebumps was originally releasing at that time, so I never read it at that time. Next up is Star Wars The High Republic Adventures #1. This is Volume 3 of The High Republic Adventures. And this series takes place immediately following the fall of the Starlight Beacon at the end of Phase 1 of Star Wars The High Republic. And first note I'll say is that this is not just a bunch of ultra-seasoned Jedis arriving on a planet to deal with some local unrest and find out that they are the only possible help, or the only people who could deal with that problem, which was the entirety of the story arc of both the Marvel 10-issue Volume 2, the Marvel miniseries, and the second volume of Star Wars The High Republic Adventures, which is now at Dark Horse. It was originally at IDW. All three of them, that was the plot. A bunch of seasoned Jedis land on a planetary system where there's some local unrest, and have to get them to see it the Jedi way by the end and fix everything. And yeah, all three stories, the 10-issue Marvel series, the 4-issue Marvel miniseries, and the 8-issue Star Wars High Republic 8-issue series, that was pretty much the same plot line throughout. Although High Republic Adventures was more about a specific Padawan Jedi who had broken away from their master and wanted to join Maz Kanata's group of pirates. They wanted to be a pirate and a Jedi. And then I got the complete collection book of Star Wars The High Republic Volume 1 after reading Volume 2 of High Republic. It was interesting that you do see that Jedi Padawan turned pirate appear in Volume 1, but I didn't know that was them when I had originally read Volume 1 because the character appeared nameless, just kind of in a side story, and you got to know them and their whole name in Volume 2. But as far as Volume 3, this takes place about, I'd say, 6 months to a year after the fall of the Starlight Beacon, and they're having a memorial for the fallen Jedi who are either dead, missing, and presumed dead from the fall of the Starlight Beacon, which includes the Buckets of Blood character and the blue alien guy who wore like a skull mask for most of the series, and then the main character in this series is Zine. This is not a very good illustration of hers. This is the B cover, not the regular artist. But Zine was a young girl who lived on a separatist planet, and on that planet, everyone, especially children, are grown up to be taught that Jedis and the Force are wrong and in fact evil, and to never see it that way. But Zine was born Force sensitive, and she's always known this. And her best friend on that planet, when she's with him, she's always anti-Jedi and such. But when the Jedi arrived on her planet, they hooked up with her and realized she was Force sensitive. And Lula Talise became her best friend in that series as she began her training. And then Zine's best friend joined the Nihil, which is the evil force of separatists who are fighting against the Jedis and the Force abilities. They're kind of like a precursor to the Empire in a sense. They're not as organized. They're more like pirates or bounty hunters in that sense, and not like an actual empire of armies. So Zine's friend joins the Nihil. Zine joins the Jedis, and they're both working at cross purposes with each other throughout the first volume. And then the main thing I picked up from this first issue of Volume 3 is it plainly spells out that Zine and Tula had been involved in a homosexual relationship within Volume 1. And there was no... upon reading Volume 1, I never even caught even a hint of subtext involving homosexuality between those two characters, but it's very clearly spelled out in this, because Zine doesn't believe that Tula, or Bucket of Bloods, or the blue alien guy with the skull, he doesn't believe any of them are dead. She can feel it, and then she receives a notification from a pirate planet saying, if you come here, I have a piece of intel that will prove that Tula is alive. So, of course, she takes a couple of fellow Jedi Padawans who are now full-on Jedis now, because it's been a little time has passed. I believe he's another one who was in her class. And they go to this planet, and they're taking out the pirates, making their way to the inner sanctum where the leader of this unrest is hiding with this split intel. And when the door opens, it's someone decked out head to toe in the Nihil armor and Nihil mask. And you see a voiceover in caption saying, you were right, Zine, she's not gone, as a matter of fact. And then the person starts taking off the armor and the mask, and it is Tula under the mask, which leads me to believe that she is working undercover with the Nihil from within to try and take it down. And then they have a homosexual kiss on the last page. So it is odd to me that they are now, the original miniseries, they were, I would say, 10 to 12 years old in that first series, which was originally published at IDW. And now here, they're obviously teenagers, and they're obviously very, very lesbian. And I'm just saying I didn't catch those, that subtext reading the original series. So kind of caught me off guard. Next up is the kickoff to Titan's Beast World, and this is the first of the new DC lenticular covers that they started rolling out specifically for Beast World. I believe all 6 issues will receive a lenticular. This is Gar and Garo. As you turn it side to side, I don't know if that's showing up on camera, but this is interesting. In the Titans main series, the Titans find out that Wally West Flash, they find his dead body in the Titans Tower, and when they do the autopsy on the body, they find out that the time of death is listed as 5 days into the future, and meanwhile, present tense Wally pulls up on the scene. He's like, oh, I'm dead. That's crazy. And so they spend the entire first arc trying to have someone always be buddy with Wally to try to prevent his death. And at the same time, there's a new religious a new religious sect that is being formed in the DC universe by a new kind of cult leader, and Aqualad, Garth Aqualad, has joined this cult and renounced the Titans and renounced superheroes in general. And the Titans are like, I don't think he would do that on his own. So they go to check out the sect, and they find out that underneath the sect, Brother Blood and all his blood minions are under there, and they dispatch them fairly easily. But then the actual leader of this religious sect comes out, and he's like, we would never work with Brother Blood. Thanks for kicking them out of here. And then Garth's like, and I'm really with them for real. There's nothing fishy going on. But then later on, you find out that the leader of the sect is actually a partial alien himself, and they transfer aliens kind of sort of in the same way as the movie The Hidden, if anyone's seen that, where they kind of like cough up like an alien spore out of their mouth into another human and take them over, and one of these spores takes over Wally's wife. So while Wally, Dick, Nightwing, and the wife are up on the watchtower at the presumed time of death, where Wally's going to die at the Titans Tower. Like, he's like, if we're up in the watchtower in space with just Dick and your wife, there's no way you're going to be murdered because we're all together. She's your wife. She loves you. I'm your best friend, etc. And then they find out that she has been possessed by this alien spore and easily defeat her because she's just a woman with an alien inside her. But they're able to stop her and expel the alien. And this pisses off the alien sect leader. So he, in the beginning of Beast World #1, he does a public broadcast to all of the sect members, and then publicly on closed caption TV to everyone saying, it is time to renounce superheroism and heroism in general. It's time to believe that something bad could be coming around the corner. But if you are in my sect, you will be on the good half of what is going on from here on forward, because it is going to get worse before it gets better. And then at the same time, Amanda Waller sent a bunch of astronauts out to this asteroid where there's been a life reading on the asteroid. And when they get there, all of a sudden, all of them are being mind controlled. And the main astronaut realizes that the entire asteroid is an alien entity. So on Earth, the Titans have received this notification that the astronauts are in danger up on this asteroid. And they don't care that it's Amanda Waller that sent them up or that they might be bad people. They're just there to save humans. So Vic opens a boom tube, sending 4 members of the team to handle that problem head on, whereas Gar and Raven and Dick stay on Earth. And then Gar and Raven, Gar kind of thinks he knows what's going on. And you find out once the Titans get there that all of the majority of the astronauts now all have a Starro on their face, which is the alien entity that shoots off a spore starfish, and when they get on your face, you become a hive mind. So they find out that the entire asteroid is another Starro species character. It's not Starro, it's an older, larger version of the Starro, and Starro is another alien starfish that obviously the Justice League and many other DC characters have encountered all the way back in the original appearance of the Justice League. So Gar, he's like, buy me some more time. because the spores have started landing to Earth and infecting people all over the Earth. So Gar and Raven are trying to help on Earth, and then Gar's like, I have an idea. I need Vic to come back. So Vic booms back, and then booms Gar into space, and then he's like, Vic, I need you to get a little further away from me because I'm gonna do something crazy. And then Gar turns himself into a city-sized green starro because he can turn into any animal, and starro is a giant starfish animal. So Gar transforms himself into that, and he's able to shut off the infected humans on Earth so that they're free of the alien influence. But then when he locks mind with the older, it's like a purple looking starro, it says, well, now that you've hooked up with me, I now have your mind too, and shuts off Gar's mind. So now Gar's body is still a giant starro, and it starts slowly drifting down to Earth. And when it lets its spores out, when one of those spores hits a people, because Gar is a shapeshifter, it will make the person not just be mind controlled, it will make them shapeshift into an animal as well. And one of the first people to be infected on the final pages is Black Adam, who begins to evolve into a giant lion man on the final page. Incredible art by Ivan Reis in this issue, written by Tom Taylor, inks by Danny Mickey, and colors by Brad Anderson. And this cover, I'm not entirely sure who it's by. They say all the covers are by Hennessy or somebody. No, they say all 6 lenticulars will be by Clayton Henry, except issue 2, I think, was listed as having a different lenticular, but I have one of my unboxings in this video may have the second lenticular, and we'll find out who that cover is by at that point, if indeed it is in this. I have a pretty large box for, I guess it would be week 2 of December, pretty big week. So, and then this is kind of like the swan song for Ivan Reis at DC, because he has signed a contract with Ghost Machine and Jeff Johns over at Image, and I believe this will be his final full-time work at DC, doing this miniseries, if indeed he does draw the entirety of the 6-issue miniseries. Knowing DC and knowing event series in general, I can guarantee he's gonna bag out halfway through or have fill-ins throughout those 6 issues. Final new number 1 was one of my favorite books that I read from the last box I opened. This is Thunderbolts number 1, which is a continuation of Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing's Captain America Sentinel of Liberty series that was earlier this year. I read the first volume of Sentinel of Liberty, and there was a new, especially a new organization of people who are actually old, rich white men who are kind of like akin to the Marvel Universe's version of the very real Illuminati in our world. And they're like called the Order or something. I can't remember exactly what they're called. But Bucky has been working at cross purposes with Steve to try and take this down from within. And he does eventually depose the leader and kill him, and takes over the head of this group at the end of that first volume of Sentinel of Liberty. I never got the second volumes of Sentinel of Liberty or Symbol of Truth. The library didn't order them, so I don't know how that runs. But in this, Bucky is firmly ensconced within this order group, and he's repurposing that organization as kind of a hit squad to take out the worst of the worst, beginning with the Red Skull, as pictured in this. This is the Jose Maria Casanovas connecting variant cover. I believe there's a set of 4 of these. And I believe this is set to be a 4-issue series, but the cover just says 1, doesn't say 1 of a particular number, so it may end up being ongoing. I hope so. And the art in here is by Gerardo Borges, who has been doing a lot of cover work at Bloom Studios. And that's what I know him from. Primarily, he's done all of the covers for No One. I can't remember if he's the artist on No One in the Massiverse, and he's done like mask variants for a ton of Massiverse books at Image. But this was really cool. This is basically Bucky teams up with Contessa Valentina de Allegro, DeFontaine, whatever the hell her name is, and recruits her and says, "Do you want to join this new team?" And she's like, like I was already leading an evil team before. Why would you want someone who's formerly evil? He's like, well, we're a little more of a gray area, and this is more not as much of like a superhero team, more like justice like lightning, the tagline for Thunderbolts. So when it picks back up with them after that intro, they are about to storm the Red Skull's castle in Germany, and at this point, the Red Skull's body that he's inhabiting, the mind of the Red Skull kind of body has been body hopping his entire existence in Marvel Comics. And the last time he body hopped into a Russian dictator. And so Bucky is storming this man's castle and taking out all the minions. And while they're there, he's like, "You're gonna meet other members of our team, Val." And then Sharon Carter, who has taken up the identity of the Destroyer, which was originally a Red Skull acolyte and enforcer who had fought Steve Rogers many, many times in the past. Now, to spite the Skull, Sharon Carter has taken up that identity and is wearing like a armored skull mask that looks akin to the Erica Slaughter, Something is Killing the Children type mask. Like so. It looks not quite like that, but close. And so they're busy fighting that, and she's like, "I thought there was going to be 4 members," and Bucky's like, "That guy's still incoming." And then you see a star shield falling from the sky from below, coming down on them, and Sharon's like, "Steve," and then you hear, "Niet, it's the other star, the Ukraine," and it's Red Guardian, who appeared in the Black Widow movie portrayed by David Harbour, and so I believe this Thunderbolts. This is like a series that's kind of like introducing this team of, say, Bucky and the Contessa and Sharon Carter and White Widow and Red Guardian and etc. So that it kind of paves the way, because that is going to be the MCU version of the Thunderbolts team if and when that movie eventually releases. So after all 4 of them are there and have defeated all of the minions, they kick down the door where the Red Skull is hiding, and he's like, "Even if you take me down here, it's just like cutting the head off a snake. I'll just grow a new body, and I'll be someone else, and you can never stop me." And Bucky's like, "I'm not really interested in stopping you. I just want to make sure we dismantle your organization after I stop you," and then puts one in the head of this Russian dictator body of the Skull. And then over the last 3 pages, you see Bucky beginning the process of dismantling the Skull's operations. And on the final page, it shows the Red Skull, of course, alive with his mask, close up on his mask with a voiceover saying, "You're never going to stop me. I'm always going to come back. And in fact, when I come back, it'll be for the final time, and it will be the end game." So that was an interesting, reintroduction to. He said that he's like, "I'm glad I'm done with that meat sack," referring to the Russian dictator. This is the pure Skull that they're going to encounter if and when I surface again. So very interesting. All right, continuing series, we got The Nasty, issue number 5 from John Lees with art by Adam Cahoon and Michael Russell, I think, is the colorist, and Campbell on letters. I believe this is just this is the Cahoon and Russell A cover. The first 3/4 of this issue is basically a scene from the Video Nasty film that they're remaking themselves. In the first issue, they find out their local video store where they've been renting horror movies since they've been 8-year-old boys and girls is going to have to close down due to no bankrupt looming bankruptcy. And so they find out that one of their group of friends has uncovered a long lost video nasty entitled "The House of Creeping Flesh." So they're like, we gotta watch this. So they all convene at the video store, and in the back room they put the tape in, and it's a possessed tape by a demon. They don't know this, but as they put the tape in and they see pretty much maybe a minute or two at the beginning, it all of a sudden starts garbling, and the VCR starts smoking, and the tape eats itself and is destroyed. And they're like, well, this is terrible. Everyone's going to want to see this. And so the main character says, I have an idea. Why don't we just make a movie ourselves and record it and put it on a tape and then show it at the upcoming horror film festival in our local city, and then everyone will come to pay and see it because it's a long lost video nasty. It's a no-brainer, and that will save our shop. And so after much hemming and hawing, they do decide to do this. So the first 4 issues was kind of the setup where one of our characters is writing the movie, the other main character is hiring the cast from within the groups of friends and neighbors and town folk. And now the first 3/4 of this issue is a extended scene from the movie that they're filming. And it goes through, and you see the characters arrive at the House of Creeping Flesh, which is owned by a family called the Fleshels. And our main female character is having nightmares where she's seeing the killers, and you see the realtors who are turning over the keys to this group of young people murdered at the beginning by the monster. And then throughout it, other characters are starting to be taken down one by one through this footage. And then they have the main character and kind of the star B character, male, together in bed having a conversation. And all of a sudden, the actress, who's also writing the movie, is like, you have a real boner? This is a movie, man. And then you hear the director go, cut. And then it cuts back to real time. And they're like, he's like, and the guy's like, hey, we're skin to skin on this thing. And they're all Scottish. So he's like, of course, I'm sitting next to a girl and I have no shirt on. Of course, I'm going to have a stoner. That's what they call a boner in Scotland, a stoner. So, of course, I'm going to get a stoner. So our main character goes, well, we can cut around this and we'll pick this back up tomorrow. And then they go and they leave to have their conversation. And he's like, you need to hurry up and work on that script because we're behind now. And it's coming up to time where we're going to have to publicize that we're going to have this video. And then another one of their friends runs into the diner where they're having this conversation and goes, we have bigger problems still. The main government liaison for video nasties has entered our small town and has heard we have this tape, and she's looking to destroy it and make sure it never sees the light of day. And that's the cliffhanger for issue number 5. Next up is The Sickness. This is issue number 3 from Uncivilized Books. This is by Lonnie Nadler and Jenna Cha. And this is variant B. So this is art by Jenna Cha, and the story and script are by Jenny Cha and Lonnie Nadler. And this is cover B by Troy Nixie. I'm unfamiliar with Troy Nixie before this, but I will be looking out to see if he is going to do any future like interior work or covers, because I do like this cover a lot. This one, this is a comic well worth. These retail for I believe $6 at cover price. I get all my books at discount through a discount comic book service. I think I pay a hair short of $4 per issue, but this is well worth the $6 cover price. It's a good meaty read that gives you like a good half hour, 45 minutes if you savor all the words and read through your whole comic. In the second issue, I really enjoyed it because there was a psychiatrist who's trying to discover why these people are suddenly going crazy and feeling stalked by a presence. and his main patient has slipped into a coma because they're so frightened that someone is following them. And the last issue, second issue, was a lot of it was like his actual case files that are written as in captions, as well as typed pages from his files, and that was really well done. And it continues in this. About 2/3 of this issue is more of his files and his discoveries, and then his patient actually dies within the issue, but he is still obsessed with, was there someone really following her? There's other cases of people going insane and murdering people out of the blue in other states, and have discussed a presence following them. So now he's obsessed with finding out what happened to this woman. And then the other half of the story is a teenage boy who is being followed by the man, and hearing voices all throughout the day, and having visual hallucinations on top of them. And in this one, everyone's having nuclear devastation and red phobia scare, as it was in the 50s. This takes place in the mid-50s. So everyone's worried about the bombs and about the Russians, and him and his father are having a heart-to-heart down in the basement, and then they all go to a picnic together, the mother, father, and the son. And while he's there, he starts having the visual hallucinations. All the people eating pies at the pie eating contest, when they lift their head, their faces are all stretching out like taffy. And he's hearing all these voices like, he's coming closer, won't be long now. And he starts having a fit, and his mom is slapping him across the face. She goes, you're always embarrassing us in public, and blah, 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 blah. You know, because they don't understand that he is seeing all this, all these hallucinations. And while she's slapping him, he's seeing her as a monster screaming at him about the man. He's like, leave me alone, just leave me alone, just leave me alone. And he's being carted off to an asylum by the end of this issue. Really enjoying this series. Definitely. I watch Economics and Comics and buy from Billy's store. And before this series existed, Billy self-dubbed himself The Sickness. And I thought this was amusing. I saw the original pre-solicitation for this back in the spring, and I sent him a picture of the cover. I'm like, hey Billy, are you gonna sue for infringement because of this? And he got a good kick out of that. But outside of it being called The Sickness, and being from this ultra indie company, Uncivilized, who I had not heard of ahead of time, and that this is obviously going to take forever to finish. It was originally solicited as a 14-issue series, and I believe it's been hacked down to a 12-issue series. But it's probably going to take quite a while to see this through to its conclusion, if it ever does successfully conclude. But I'm really enjoying it. One of my favorites of this year. And lastly, for this set of reviews, Something is Killing the Children, issue number 35, the conclusion to the second 15-issue story arc. The first 15 issues took place in Archer's Peak, Wisconsin, and this one takes place at the Easy Creek Corral in New Mexico. Erica has shown up in the small New Mexico town where a young girl has watched her entire family be murdered by a new type of monster called the duplicitype. Her grandmother, her sister, and her mother were murdered in this in the house while she watched and saw it happening. And she's like, it looked like a man, but like a weird man. That's how best I can describe it. So the police have nothing to go on. Erica shows up, and at the end of the first issue, tries to befriend this little girl, Gabby. And Gabby's like too cool for school, want nothing to do with it. So at the same time, a new character, Cutter, which is the House of Cutter in the United Kingdom, is tasked by the House of St. George in the United States to track down and eliminate Erica Slaughter, because Erica has renounced the order. And when you join the Order of St. George, even if it's not in the fine print, you have joined for life. And Erica, after the disagreement she had completing the mission in Archer's Peak, especially how they try to brainwash or completely wipe out the entire town where a monster is sighted and is active, she doesn't agree with that type of finality to these type of cases. So she has quit the order. So the Order of St. George has hired Cutter to come to the United States, locate Erica, and eliminate her. So when Cutter gets to town, she is posing as a police officer working in tandem with the police to track down Erica. And then Cutter finds the monster and deliberately sets up children for it to come and eat. And while it is in the process of attacking these children, Erica shows up and Cutter is hiding to watch what happens. And the duplicitype will eventually reveal its final. Duplicitypes can eventually impersonate any type of person it needs to get close to the child victim for easy pickings to get the kill. But when it sees the figure that it ends up being most frightened of, it'll immediately revert into that permanently. And it turns out the thing that this duplicitype is most frightened of is Erica Slaughter, because it made short work of him and was beating his ass pretty bad and saving these kids. And as it runs away, it morphs into Erica, and Cutter's like, very, very interesting, I can use this. So now Cutter has, oh, look at these dead children here at the pool, and you're going to see Erica walking around town hunting other children, because it looks like Erica now, except it has a big giant eyeball in the middle of its belly, and Erica doesn't. So in the final arc, they're setting up the final use the child to lure in the monster, and they're going to dip a arrow in a auto kill poison that is fatal to duplicitypes, and then they're going to deal with Cutter if she arrives. But meanwhile, Cutter has been with them the whole time, hanging off the bottom of the car, a la Max Cady and Martin Scorsese's Cape Fear. So Erica and the other main character in the series is Gabby's aunt, who's like a bartender in town. And so Erica has befriended Gabby and her aunt and has got them on board. Erica and Gabby's aunt are going to lure the duplicitype in, and then Gabby is to start screaming to lure it towards the screams. And since Gabby's aunt can't see it and Erica can, Erica just needs Gabby's aunt to be a distraction. So Erica and the aunt go out and they sight the monster, but then what they don't know is Cutter is alone with Gabby, where Gabby is hiding, and starts to attack her. And then Gabby starts screaming ahead of time, and Gabby's aunt's like, fuck this, I'm about Gabby, you said you were going to protect Gabby at all costs, so I can't help you do the distraction anymore, I gotta go help Gabby. So Erica is now faced one-on-one with the monster heading towards everybody, but has no distraction anymore, so she decides, fuck it, and whips her, she's on horseback, whips her horse around, starts heading back towards Gabby's screams, and sees Gabby's aunt unconscious on the porch, and Cutter holding Gabby with her arm wrenched around her back. And so Erica has the arrow with this monster killing poison on it, and she makes the split-second decision to ratchet back the arrow on her bow and arrow and shoot it directly towards Cutter's head. And Cutter is such a badass that she snatches the arrow from midair right in front of her face and goes, oh, it has some kind of something on here. That can't be good. Let's find out. And rams it into Gabby's back. And that's how the penultimate issue ended. And in this issue, Erica arrives on horseback to Cutter, and Cutter is like, we finally meet face to face, and you're just gonna be here to listen to this girl's final cries because I just stabbed her with the poison. That must make you feel like shit, right? So they begin their battle, and Cutter immediately gets the upper hand and is beaten down on Erica, and says, the last thing you're going to hear is this girl's screams as they fade and die, and then you're going to hear the aunt be eaten alive by the duplicitype. Isn't that going to make you feel like shit? And Erica gets her second win, Hulkamania style, and turns the tide on the battle and is beating the crap out of her, and just beating her. And Cutter's like, this isn't right. I'm not used to being touched like this. And Erica's like, well, how about this? and just totally lays her out with an uppercut. And she's down on the ground, laughing through her blood and going, but you're still hearing her die. You're still hearing her die, and you've lost. And Erica just takes a rock and just turns Cutter's head into hamburger at this point. And then she rushes to Gabby's side and goes, I'm so sorry that I wasn't there and that you were hurt. And Gabby's like, fuck it. We still gotta finish what we started here. And Gabby sacks up and just yanks that arrow out of her own back and goes, I know I'm dying, I know I'm going out, but I'm going to go out taking this thing out because it took out my family. And so Erica's like, all right, that's our new plan here. And then for some reason, because it looks like Erica now, Erica can now no longer see the duplicity. So neither Erica or Gabby's aunt can see it. And then they see Erica rushing out into the desert, and Erica is confronting it face to face, going, "You took out my parents. You killed my gram and my sister and my mother, and I'm taking you out. You're done." And then you see Gabby from the adult's perspective, and it's just her screaming into the void. And all of a sudden, you see both of Gabby's arms disappear and start shooting blood. A la the girl being ripped in half earlier in the Archer Peak arc. They showed a monster attacking where the adults cannot see the monster but see the violence, and you got that scene. But then as soon as the duplicity has eaten Gabby's arms, Gabby has had this poison coursing through her blood, and this is an instant kill on a duplicity, this poison, because it ate Gabby's arms. The duplicity lets out a horrid death scream and lands dead to the ground. And then Erica runs to Gabby and is like, I'm so sorry. I wish it could have gone the way it was supposed to. I wish everyone was going to make it through this. Gabby's like, stop being such a whiny bitch. Stop being a little kid. I'm the one dying here, and I have more sack than you, you know? Because she's all about being truthful. She's like, the good thing is I'm going to be able to see my gram and my mother and my sister again. And I'm going to be able to tell them I'm such a fucking badass, you know? And then the cool thing is the word balloons. The three horizontal panels of her holding Gabby as she's dying. And Gabby's text is getting lighter and lighter. And I had to be up here like this to read the final word balloons about how she's going to see her grandmother again. And then they have the wrap up where this Order of St. George has shown up, and they have Cutter's dead body. They have the Duplicity-type's dead body because it doesn't revert back to a monster when it dies. It's permanently stuck in the form of what it feared the most. So it basically looks as if Erica is dead on the ground and Cutter is dead on the ground. And the Order of St. George is like, oh, Cutter was not a police officer at all. She was just a psychopath. We're sorry she was even in this town. And but at least, at the very least, Erica was taken out, and these children are safe now, and we're sorry about the little girl. And then the cop is like, oh, what happens now? And she's like, your town will receive a huge influx of money, and you yourself will receive a huge influx of money if you want to just leave the town and forget about all this behind you. And the cop gets into his car, and he's driving away, and the Order drives away. But then you see the aunt in the backseat of the car, and she's like, that monster could look like anything. You know that's not really Erica dead on the ground there. She promised me Gabby would be safe. And Gabby doesn't look very safe to me. She's gone. And I made Erica a promise. If anything happened to Gabby, I would kill her. And I swear if it takes to the end of my days, I will kill her. And the final pages are a repeat of the final pages of the Archer Peaks story, where Erica is alone and entering a train station and boarding a Greyhound bus and leaving the town. And that is how Arc 2 of Something to Come on Shoulder ends. I think I enjoyed overall Arc 2 better. I enjoyed the characters better. I got to know them better for a longer period of time. Whereas you're kind of dropped into the middle of the whole situation in the first arc. And most of the characters are already dead in the first issue. And you just have the boy who she teams with, and like other townspeople that you get to know in the first arc, who weren't as instantly compelling as this badass little girl from arc number 2. Really looking forward to seeing where they're going to go next with the series. The Book of Butcher one shot is coming out with this week's comics. They're coming out tomorrow, so we'll probably get that early January. So we'll talk about that in another video, and then they're going to have a third arc of Jace Boucher, House of Slaughter, that's going to begin, I believe, in March, because they're having the Ash Can number 21 in February that I've ordered for that next arc of House of Slaughter, which arc 1 and arc 3 were Jace Boucher, and now arc 5 will be his concluding arc. So that's interesting. I'm looking forward to how that ends up. I'm looking forward to seeing when Something's Killing Children returns. Is it going to be another flashback arc, a la the arc that sits between Archer's Peak and New Mexico, where it was the origin of Erica being brought into the Order as a girl? Or is it going to be another flashback to sometime this one 5-issue and done storyline, or are they going to jump into the next 15-issue epic arc? We'll find out. All right, as I said before, I filmed that those reviews and a partial unboxing of these comics that were repicked for me by the Discount Comic Service before my device went dead battery and it didn't save it, so I can't rebox them and unbox them, so I'll just show them off. I have the DC Connect for February. I've already ordered and paid for my January books, and ordered and I'm going to pay for my February books, and it's past time to do any cuts to that order. So even if I see anything in here I don't like that I have ordered, I can't do anything about it because I did not get this towards the beginning of December when it originally arrived, because it was delivered to the wrong address. I have a little something to say about this. This is Barbaric, Wrong Kind of Righteous one-shot. This is by Sean Eames, co-writing with series writer Michael Morici, with regular artists Nathan Gooden and Duke on the colors and Campbell on letters. And this is cover A by Nathan Gooden. This earlier this year they had 2 series. They had I believe the 3rd mini-series for Barbaric. I think it was the one where Owen went to hell. And then they had a spin-off series with the female barbarians, their story. And then this is a one-shot that's bridging the gap to a new series I believe begins in February, the next arc of Barbaric, which will be fully written by Michael Morici with Nathan Gooden as usual. And I did see the hubbub about the guy who runs his comic shop over in the Midwest, who was getting bashed because he has his own YouTube channel and makes videos about the state of the industry. And in his video about the state of the industry, he said, I can't sell new comics, and I don't enjoy any new comics because there are so many writers in the industry now that are using these classic superhero characters to be their mouthpiece for their political agendas and so on and so forth. And that he has a point with, but then there's a whole big shit show about it, and Mark Millar got on his side. And the big thing about him is he looks like the prototypical comic book guy from The Simpsons. He has that big build and the ponytail and the goatee, you know. So everyone was saying, like, who is he to talk about how bad the industry of comics is? And other comic writers lashed back saying, I hate it when I go to the hardware store and they're talking shit about the hammers, you know, just in jest, you know. And so that went on for about a week, and I saw content related to it. And then this comic shop owner put out his next scheduled video on his channel, and it began with the Dire Straits song "Money for Nothing" playing over like a day in the life of him working at the shop, and it cuts to what is like a customer buying this copy of Barbaric, and the store owner's on the other side of the thing, and the customer's like, "You reading this? Is great," and the store owner's like, I don't have to read it. I've read Conan. Uh, you know, it can't be any good because Conan already was. I don't need to read any more Conan. I'm not going to read it. And I take issue with that because this is far from Conan. I mean, it is barbarians in a past landscape, such as Conan was in the Marvel run. But I guarantee you this pisses from a great height on much of the Marvel Conan run. And I hear that the new independent run of Conan by Jim Zub is great. I wouldn't know. I haven't got it because my comic shop doesn't pick up. Was that Opus who's putting those books out? Same as Death Dealer. They only pick up the collections of those, and the library won't take my special orders for Death Dealer or Conan. But Barbaric, I can say I have issue with that particular video of him lashing out at his customer saying, I don't need to read this because it's just Conan, and it's shit because of that. That you might have a point saying that new writers are using characters as mouthpieces. That's true in many senses, but to dismiss this as Conan is just straight bullshit. I hope it was just exaggerated interaction between the customer in that video, and it was done for jest. But if not, if he's serious about that, you're full of shit, dude. All right, next up, this one I'm definitely looking forward to reading. This is Swan Songs number 5, written by W. Maxwell Prince from Ice Cream Man and Haha, and Art Brute, Electric Sublime, King of Nowhere. He's on all that, mainly for Ice Cream Man. And this issue is drawn, and the cover is by Alec Ekman-Lawn. Yep, cover A by Alec Ekman-Lawn. Alec Ekman-Lawn has been doing covers for DC with Sandman Nightmare Country. He's been doing covers for Ice Cream Man, for Maxwell. And this, I believe, to my knowledge, is his first full-on issue of interior art. And I've heard tons and tons of great things about this comic throughout December on Best of 2023 podcasts that I've been watching. So I'm definitely looking forward to popping this through and checking this art out, because he's just based on this and a few covers. He's like considered one of the best artists of the entire year for it. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading that. Next up is Ms. Marvel, The New Mutant, issue number 4. The series is written by the actress who portrays Ms. Marvel in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And this is a Chris Samney X-Men Team homage cover. This is an homage to New X-Men 114 from Grant Morrison and Frank Quietly. Pretty nice homage. It's not looking to deliberately ape the fine line work of Quietly, but for Samney, it's not as cartoony as some of Samney's straight-on Samney art, so he's doing his part to do a satisfying homage to New X-Men 114. As far as the series goes, I read the first issue in full. It was interesting enough, and then issues 2 and 3, it was excessively wordy, so I found myself skimming much of those issues as opposed to reading them in full as I did with issue 1. But the main gist of the series is Kamala has been reborn as a mutant after her death in Amazing Spider-Man, but she is still considered of inhuman lineage by everybody, and doesn't know she was reborn through the mutant protocols. And she is working with Orcus, who is working against the mutants since during this Fall of X that began with the Hellfire Gala termination of most of the mutants. So she has been tasked with by Jean Grey and Professor X to, at the party, they said, "You're going to join Orcus and work to take it down from within." And she's already been an intern for Norman Osborn in the Amazing Spider-Man series, and etc. So there's no problem becoming an intern at Orcus because they don't know she is actually now a mutant. So it's been an okay story. Looking forward to see how it ends. Maybe I'll give that issue a full read, and hopefully it's not as wordy and like uninteresting looking as issues 2 and 3 were. Speaking of series that people consider too wordy and for some uninteresting, here's The Flash, number 3 from Dawn of DC, from Simon Spurrier and Mike Deodato Jr. on the art, and Trish Mulvihill on colors. This is cover A by Mike Deodato Jr. I could not find a cardstock variant that jumped out to me as much as this A, so for this issue, I reverted back to A cover for Flash number 3. First issue was definitely a slog and took a long time to read, and there's a lot going on, and a lot of text, and a lot of confusion as to what was going on. But then issue 2 was a lot cooler and read a lot smoother, and I quite enjoyed it. I'm hoping it moves more in that direction and not back into the slog. I'm enjoying it well enough. I know a lot of people who have been on Flash through Jeremy Adams' entire run and were able to read that from the jump. Just can't get into this one quite as much because it's just not the same thing, I suppose. But I'm enjoying it. All right, here's another one I'm definitely looking forward to because in my last video, I unboxed this, which is Amazing Spider-Man 39, which is part 1 proper of Gang War. But this is the lead-in one-shot Gang War First Strike, written by series writers Zeb Wells and Cody Ziegler, who write Amazing Spider-Man and Miles Morales Spider-Man, respectively, with art by Vasquez and Valenza, cover A by John Romita Jr., who is returning to Amazing Spider-Man with issue 39 to take the art duties on the entirety of the Gang War arc. I believe the last issue Romita Jr. did was 31, 8 issues ago. Romita Jr. is another artist along the lines of Jamal Campbell and Quietly, who are not built to punch out a monthly series for an entire year, much less 2 or 3, like Dan Moore at DC. He can do 2 DC titles, do the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers series, and like 6 covers a month, all at once. Some artists can do that, and they're built for that, and they never seem rushed, and the art is always exceptional. And some like John Romita Jr. or Jamal Campbell or Quietly, you just take what you can get during the year and expect fill-ins. And the fill-ins on Amazing have been by Patrick Gleason and Ed McGuinness and Terry Dodson. So they're getting some not Z-grade fill-in artists, at least for the fill-in books. Not a lot of people are liking Zeb's run. It is like a roller coaster. Some arcs are good and some arcs are shit. I actually enjoyed the Death of Kamala Khan arc for what it was as a whole. I didn't enjoy the ending so much. I liked Romita's last issue on art with 31, which is kind of like a lead into a gang war, kind of, because it's Tombstone's wedding, and Tombstone invites all of his mafia people to be on his side of this wedding because it's his daughter, the new Beetle, and Robbie Robertson's son marrying the Beetle. So on one side it's Spider-Man and all of the Spider-Man supporting cast on the groom side, and on the bride side is all these gangsters. And then the issue ends with Tombstone being an assassination attempt on Tombstone, and him being rushed to the hospital. And throughout the issue, Madame Mask and Hammerhead had been bickering that one or the other was gonna fuck up the wedding by putting out a hit, more or less. And then they're both talking to each other on the final pages, going, "I'm surprised that it wasn't you who was behind this hit." And Hammerhead's like, yeah, I was surprised it wasn't you. And then Madame Mask gets in their limo and starts driving away. And then uh, Hammerhead's like, click with the remote. And then Madame Mask's limo explodes, and he's like, I was here to kill you, not him. And I thought that was great. That was one of the better issues of Amazing. Even though all of the backing material in that 31st $10 issue was all reprint stuff and like lead-ins to Gang War that I didn't care about. That main first story by Zeb Wells and John Romita Jr. was my favorite issue of Amazing Spider-Man since the Death of Kamala Khan arc. And then the Wreck Rap story was fine. The Heart of the Hunter story, where the sins of Norman Osborn are synthesized into a poison and put on a Craven spear. That was a great arc, and I love how Peter broke bad and stuff. But it wasn't Gleason's best work, and I believe there's some Bagley in there too. It was a fun story. It read really well. But as far as my favorite arcs, definitely the Death of Miss Marvel was my top arc in the new run. And then I liked the initial arc about Tombstone and some of his new revelations about his path I really liked. About his past I really liked. So, all right, next up is Something is Killing the Children. When I originally ordered issue 35 at ahead of time on Discount Comic Service, that month they had this solicited as cover A, and they also had solicited for open order a local comic shop day edition foil cover, which was solicited as being a foil of the A. So I ordered one copy of this and one copy of the foil, because I always get 2 copies of each cover. Since I believe since issue 16, I've had 2 copies of each title, stacking them for future use of future giveaways or future sell-off if I get that lucky. But so this is my second copy that I ordered from Discount Comic Book Service. My first copy I had to then order from Billy at FOC, which is how I was able to have read it before this delayed box has arrived. Basically the the local comic shop day foil edition was canceled either by Boom or by local comic shop day or something, but I still haven't received a refund. It was a $10 foil cover price. All of the Jenny Frizen Berserker foil that local comic shop day that I did receive in November, but this foil cover was canceled. I'm obviously going to be getting a refund for it in the future. I don't know, I haven't been refunded already, but so I got my second copy of this through FOC with Billy, so I could still have 2 copies of each cover. Next up is same issue, 35. This is the connecting set. Maybe it goes this way, actually. The connecting set of 35. Yeah, that's how it connects. Erica face off with Cutter. Erica on one side cover and facing off against Cutter on the other. It's a nice connect. It looks nice. Looks nice on camera. So there's those. Next up is Detective Comics. This is issue 1078. This is the middle piece of the Batman Outlaw current arc, which is being written by series writer Rom V with art by Jason Sean Alexander of Philadelphia and Spawn fame, with a backup story by Dan Waters and Casper Wingard of Homesick Pilots fame. Next up, The Penguin, issue number 4 from Tom King and Raphael Delatorre. Cover A by Giuseppe Camuncoli. No, cover A by Carmen Di Giamenico, who just finished wrapping up Joker, the Man Who Stopped Laughing with Matthew Rosenberg, which was one of my favorite series of 2023. If I don't end up being lazy and end up making my best of 2023 video, I will discuss Joker there. This, going into 2024, is a front runner for one of the best series, ongoing series into 2024. I heard another YouTuber who's a big DC guy discussing Penguin as this is Penguin One Bad Day special done right. this is a more fleshed out version of kind of the same story where Penguin is down and out at the beginning of an arc and has to build himself back up into the underworld king figure that he rightfully belongs as. But in the One Bad Day one shot, he started that completely penniless and given a gun with one bullet and has to build himself back up with that alone back to his prominence, and he has to put together a ragtag team of villains and former associates to make that happen. And this series is kind of the same thing, but in this series at the start, he has the full backing of the U.S. government who are forcing him back into a life of crime. He's retired in Metropolis before the series begins, about to ask a woman to marry him there in Metropolis, and totally he's changed his identity. He's done being Penguin, but this government agent, she crossed paths with him in the Tom King series Batman Killing Time. And this series features that FBI agent from Killing Time and the Help, who appeared originally in Killing Time, created by Tom King. So this series is basically a stretched out version of that one shot, One Bad Day Penguin, where Penguin goes from basically reformed to creating a team of unlikely allies to return to Gotham and get back on top at the direction of the CIA and the U.S. government. Interesting. This one I'm definitely looking forward to as well is Moon Knight, issue number 29. This is coming to you from not Zeb Wells, but Jed MacKay. I'm surprised Jed MacKay isn't being bumped up to like a Bendis type role at Marvel, because he did get last year's Timeless special. He wrote that, and he's now the writer on the flagship Avengers, in addition to Moon Knight, and I believe he's doing Doctor Strange as well. He's definitely, he can put out compelling work over various characters and titles with very little lack of like fatigue or like not putting good work into this title versus that title, etc. This is the penultimate issue of this run of Moon Knight, issue 29. I believe in our box here that we're going to open, we're going to have the final issue and its variants. So, yeah, this is one that when I had my box misdelivered, I was like, oh man, if I have to go back to the LCS to pick these up on my own, this is one I'm definitely going to opt to do that with. And I'm glad when they repicked my order, they were able to get book for book everything I ordered down to the variant, which is interesting because when I had a damaged order back in October and I told them it was like only the partial order, maybe like 10 or 12 books, they didn't have any of those books extras to repick for me to replace the damages. So, and now a whole week's worth later in the year, they have it all. That seems odd to me. Here's Batman, The Brave and the Bold, issue number 7, cover A by Simone DeMeo. I assume there was no other variant cover that jumped out at me here, as well as with the previous issue, Flash. I think there's been a few issues of Batman where I've reverted back to the Simone DeMeo because the variants are not that good. And this is another issue minus Batman Joker, the winning card. 4-part story that began in issue 1. Part 2 is in issue 2. Part 3 was in issue 5. And now solicited for February, issue 9. This is issue 7. Issue 9 will have the conclusion of Batman Joker, the winning card by Tom King and Mitch Gerads. That's been a great story. And we're getting close to the point where my battery ran out in my last video that you're now getting to see, kind of. Here's The Devil That Wears My Face, issue number 2 by David Pepose, with art by Alex Cormack and letters by YouTube's Justin Birch. Love the first issue of this. I love Alex Cormack. I'm glad that he's now working on Sync Monsters, which will kick off on Kickstarter in the first quarter of 2024 from Comics Tribe. But he's drawing not one but two miniseries simultaneously. This is The Devil That Wears My Face at Mad Cave, and then coming up another. Here is Grimm issue 15. This is the finale of the third arc to Grimm. This is the cover B Reaper variant from Zoo Orzo, doing this arc's Reaper variant. So I've been enjoying this arc. I believe I enjoyed arc 2 the best of the three, but this one is pretty good as well. And this is where my battery died when I picked this book up. This is The Ribbon Queen, issue number... No number on the front. Issue 5 of 8. This is from Garth Ennis with art by Jason Burrows. This comes out of AWA, and this is the horror movie homage variant cover by... I can't remember what this guy's name is. I'm gonna have to look. Probably says. Nope, it shows the creative team. This is a horror poster homage cover by Chris Ferguson, who has been doing all the heavy metal and punk rock and erotic movie cover variants. That's the standard for AWA lately, is all these homaged covers to various this and that. Next up is Captain America number 3 from J. Michael Straczynski. This is the Stormbreakers variant by Nick Klein. I am not a huge fan of Stormbreakers covers. I hate the backs. Let's see if... Yep, this one has art split by Jesus Saez, and then the art is split with Lan Medina. I don't know if they're doing different eras on the art or not, but I do know that Jesus Saez is off the title entirely by the issue solicited for March. So if the first arc doesn't end to my liking, and I have read through to that point before I have to finalize my March order, I will drop Captain America. I love Saez. I loved his work on Punisher. I loved when he did Doctor Strange. Lan Medina's fine, but if he's going to be the full-time main artist, the story's not interesting enough to me to continue without Saez. Here's the second Alex Cormack book aforementioned. This is Drive Like Hell at Dark Horse Comics by Rich Doak and Alex Cormack, with letters by Hassan Otsman El Hau, award-winning Hassan Otsman El Hau, probably soon to be award-winning Hassan Otsman El Hau, with the Community Best of Awards. He got a lot of love on that stream. This is Rich Doak and Alex Cormack. They did Sea of Sorrows and Road of Bones and Breath of Shadows, and this is their fourth 3-word book, and it's not this of this. This is Drive Like Hell. Loved the first issue. Was upset that my box was delivered erroneously, as I knew I wouldn't be able to find this at my LCS if I had to find them under my own steam. New number 1, Basic Instinct from Sumerian Press Massive Industries. Vanessa Del Rey, Sam Freeman, and Kayla Valerio. Cover A by Vanessa Del Rey. Sumeria.Inc. Basic Instinct series subtitle is Pound of Flesh. Really enjoyed the first issue of American Psycho, so why not jump into Basic Instinct? And upcoming from Sumerian, The Fog. John Carpenter's The Fog gets a continuation coming from comics. I'm definitely on board with that. And last but not least, for the last week of November is the FOC reveal variant cover for Something's Coming to 35 by Declan Shalvey. I saw this for the first time when I pulled it out of the box. It was never shown on solicitations, and when these books were coming out, there was no more Comic Man Andy's Comic Book Weekly on Tuesday nights. It seems Comic Man Andy was so butthurt by Punisher #1 that he made a video slamming it and left YouTube for good that night. Has not made any content, not just Comic Book Weekly, but any content since that video. I hope he's fine. I hope it's just a family thing that he doesn't want to discuss with all of us or whatever. I can't get anyone to tell me if he's fine. I mention it in various live streams from time to time, and I get other YouTubers saying, I know you liked that show, but just let it go and let him live his life, blah, blah, blah. Can someone just say, yes, he's okay, he has to be gone or something, or instead of just keeping it this mystery? It's just weird to me. Alright, so that was my last video that I didn't get to finish, and now I know that if my recording equipment is close to death, to stop and edit it together between two parts, because it will not save if battery goes. So, alright, we'll begin our unboxings with an eBay purchase I made of some books that I missed out on through FOC and through pre-ordering, I suppose. This was a extra printing that I found out about the week after FOC on a hot list. And not Ben Stein's hot list, ironically, which Ben Stein is the only hot list you should be watching, but on the cloned rip-off version of the Ben Stein Hot 10 list, they mentioned this book. Well, way too late for me to order it, and afterwards I felt like kicking myself in the head, because I do remember seeing it when Billy at Economics and Comics did his FOC show, and I'm like, how did I neglect to order this of all books? So here it is, Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. Second printing variant has a new what do you call it? A pull quote by or a push quote from Patton Oswalt. Finally, murder and forensics made adorable. This is by series artist and writer Patrick Horvath, who does also the art on this variant, and letters by, again, Hassan Otsmanow. So I did a eBay order because I missed FOC, and this was one of the only shops that was selling it on pre-order on eBay at the time, and this would have cost me about $12 if I had ordered it separately. So I always try to bundle it with some other books to kind of cut down the per book cost in my head. And here is World Tree. This is issue number 5. This is a ratio. This is cover C. I believe it's Campbell. Cover C by Campbell, not J. Scott Campbell, but I can't remember this Campbell's last name. There's no invoice in this YouTube order, so I'm not sure. I think it might actually be the guy who does all the variants. This is Maybe shows variants on the back. Doesn't show variants at all. Interesting. Maybe on the inside back cover. That is not the case. I'm not sure. It was a pretty cool looking variant. I think this is the 1 in 25. I know that much at least. So if you look up World Tree 5, 1 in 25, you can discover the author of this great artwork yourself there. Issue 1, 2, and 3 had fucking kickin' 1 in 25 and 1 in 10 variant cover art, and I collected all of those. So Now I'm going to have to, on principle, find the number 4, 1 in 25, to complete the first arc set of extra printings. And then here is Department of Truth, nominated for 4 Eisner Awards, including Best New Series. Got that blurb on top. This is issue number 13 and the cover A by Martin Simmons. I collected the entire run of Department of Truth through issue 16 in B variant form, and 17 through 21 when it returned from a hiatus. The B variants were all 1 in 25 ratios, and I was unable to continue my collection of B variants, so I do have the A covers 17 through 21, and I have been buying at a discount when I find them at various eBay shops or hiding at online stores, the A covers to match my B covers of the run. So this is issue number 13. I got a few A covers from Billy at Economics and Comics when he had a Christmas discount code last year, and then I have I think a couple more coming up in another missed FOC books order that I've made. Now look at this chunky chunker. This is week 3, December 2023. All I gotta say is October, November, and December, my pre-order bill was insane. Let's put it that way. I'm glad that it's kind of mellowed out a bit and mellowed out quite a bit for December and mellowed out a bit for January and February. It's definitely down a third for sure. Come on, holy moly! This is nuts. This is nuts. 1 week. Mind you, there are extra printings. Extra printings going on here. It looks like there was a bunch. Looks like there at least one book. Yeah. I'm a little worried about this guy right here. Anyway, yeah, this is week 3. Wow. Wowzer. That's nuts. Wow. Let's get the invoice out and get a count. This is one of those times I wish they had them in a easier opening plastic instead of the shrink wrap. I used to love the shrink wrap in previous orders when I used to buy their overpriced bags and boards, but I stopped buying their overpriced bags and boards. So, week 3 of December, 73 books in a week. Christ. 73 individual floppies for week 3. Don't tell the wife. Yikers. Looks like we got damages. Doesn't surprise me with this many books, but it's okay, I suppose. A collector has kind of given up on the notion of most books receiving a good resale tilt, you know. I'm gonna put cardboard between each set. I'll grab this third set here. And it's good. This one has, see, some of them have this little hole in the back for easy opening. I prefer that than the ones that do not. All right. All right. Third one open. All right. Yikes. Jinkies. I'm going to take a sip here. Thanks to all of you who stick around to watch enough of the video where it spurs you to leave a like or comment, or even subscribe. All right, let's get rocking here. Book number 1 of this huge week is Star Wars Hyperspace Stories, the final issue of this maxi series that came first. I think it was the first book back to Dark Horse when IDW lost their license back over to Dark Horse. This is by Cecil Castellucci with art by Lucas Moronson. And this is cover B by Lucas. I assume it's Lucas Morangan. Death Star shields are down. We're going in. Celebrating 40 years of Return of the Jedi with See the Battle of Endor as you've never seen before. Alright, and we have our little Wookiee doll that has been following the series throughout all eras of sequel, original, and prequel trilogy stories that this series encompasses. This little Wookiee doll has been bouncing around. Next up, we have House of Slaughter, issue 20, the finale of the Alabaster story arc. And another one. And another one. Alright, I think one of my upcoming New Year's resolutions, I'm going to make a shorter New Year's resolutions video that'll, I'll try and get it up just before the end of the year. I know one of them for sure, and the other one I'm working on regarding House of Slaughter in particular, and we'll discuss that in that video here shortly. So these are Spot UV variants by Raoul Allen, and they are cover C's. The Alabaster arc's been pretty cool. I think I enjoyed the other, the second arc about the transcriber sect of the, I can't recall it, Master. Here is Moon Knight number 30. This is cover F. Cover F. A. No, these aren't even put in order. So, I believe this is series artist Alessandro Cappuccio, the F variant of by series artist Alessandro Cappuccio. I don't remember why I opted for this variant, other than I like Cappuccio's art, and I don't ever get the A covers on Moon Knight, usually. The next series, which we'll talk about when I get to the last variant for that book. Here is, I'm definitely looking forward to this. Here's Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, issue number 2 from Patrick Horvath and Hassan. Looking forward to seeing where this series gets off to with issue 2. And issue 1 was an instant winner in my mind. A great cliffhanger. Oh, here we go. Here is the second of 5 business card variants for American Psycho, issue number 2 from Sumerian and Massive Inc. So this is the Pearson Pierce, Paul Allen Vice President trading card, not business card variant, They took a little bit of a breather on our wallet and made issue 2 and 3's business cards an open order job. Unfortunately, 1, 4, and 5, I've had to pay up for the ratio. Here is Captain Marvel issue number 1, cover, second printing, with the John Tyler Christopher variant. The original was a solid pastel color background. All of the Thanos variant he did earlier this year. And then on the Thanos second print, they did this galaxy motif behind the art rather than a flat color. And they have done the same for Carol here with the second printing of Captain Marvel #1. The series is by Alyssa Wong and I believe Jan Balzuda on the art. I got 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3 had awesome variant covers. And then issue 4, somehow I forgot to order it. Plus, the only variant for it is the ROM team-up cover, and the cover A is trash. So I'm dropping Captain Marvel at issue 3. Haven't even read it yet. Still have the final volume of Kelly Thompson's run to finish before I even get to those 3. Here's where the extra printings continue. Here's Void Rivals, issue number 5, second printing, cover C. 5, second printing, cover C. This is one of the Quintesson variants. Up next, it looks like they put them all in order in my box. This is cover B. No, this is cover A. Void Rivals 5, cover A. With our Quintesson. These covers are all by Ferguson? No, Ferguson's the movie poster homage at AWA. This guy's name is Jason Howard. Has been doing the Autobot and Decepticons character spotlight on Lovely White variants. And here is cover E. The 5th of 5 Quintessons, second printing of issue 5 of Void Rivals. Cover B completes that set. And they all have they're like pain, lament, loss, some words around those lines to name our 5 Quintessons. And this is only 4 of the 5 Quintessons as of now. So I think this was A, C, D, and E. So I don't think, I think it was A, B, D, and E. I don't think we've seen cover C yet. Here's the finale to World's Finest Teen Titans from Mark Waid and Emanuela Lupacchino with shared artwork in here. I believe it's Mike Norton, and cover A by Chris Somney. I've been getting cover A through the run. Looking forward to seeing how this one finishes up. Here is the conclusion to, I guess you'd call this the first arc of Dawn of DC Green Lantern by Jeremy Adams with art by Zermanico, with a backup story by Peter Tomasi and David LaFuente, which is going to be a lead into their new Super Evil Sons title, or Evil Sons. I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's the concept of Super Sons, but instead of Damian Wayne and John Kent, it's going to be Sinestro's son and Zod's daughter, I believe is what it is, or both of their, it's both their sons, Zod's son and Sinestro's son. That's going to be fun. I will read the trade. Here is Immortal Thor, issue number 5 by Al Ewing and Martin Kokolo. Cover A by Alex Ross, as usual. Martin Kokolo is on paper, Via solicits through March as being the artist on Immortal Thor. No fill-ins needed for Mr. Kokolo. Here is Detective Comics 1079, the penultimate issue of Batman Outlaw, which we previously discussed in the last week of November that I showed off. This is by Ram V and Jason Alexander, and also features art by Liam Sharp, working in tandem with Jason Sean Alexander, colors by the great Dave Stewart, with a backup story by Dan Waters, and this is gonna be awesome, Juan Ferreira. I love Juan Ferreira's Spider-Man book, Spine-Tingling Spider-Man. Cannot wait to see what he's gonna do in Gotham. I love Juan. Here is Void Rivals, issue number 4 in a second printing with the Jason Howard Shockwave variant. This is probably one of my favorite character variants of all now. Let's come to pass. Here is Captain America issue number 4. This is cover C, which is a Marvel's Avengers 60th anniversary cover. And I believe this is, I saw it and I forgot it right away, Adi Granoff doing his homage to maybe Captain America number 1, Avengers Assemble, and we do mean assemble. So this is the, let's see if Sayaz has got any art in here. Nope, La Mandia has already taken over full creative, full penciling duties as of issue 4 of Captain America. So as I said, I'll finish that first arc. If it pulls me out too much, the La Medina, I'm done. I'm not shy to say I can drop a title. Quick Stops Volume 2, issue number 1, cover A. I believe cover A's are by Ahmad Rafat, who is doing the interior art. These are great stories written by Kevin Smith, brought to you in glorious black and white, a la Clerks. Loved the first volume of this series. The standard cover is actually by Nate Gonzalez. And the one thing I'll say about Volume 2 is I've seen cover solicits through issue 2, possibly issue 3, and a lot of them all have Mubi on them. I hope this isn't like an extended multi-issue story arc involving Mubi, because she's not that interesting of a character or a concept to me. So I need more room. I'm gonna move these here and these here. If I were to turn my camera one way or the other, you would see, let's say, a lot of comics. Let's say Dark Spaces Hollywood Special, issue number 4. This is by Lambert and Rowe. Written by Jeremy Lambert. Art by Claire Rowe. Colors by Jordi Belair. Cover B by Danny and Tamara Bonvillain. Those are two awesome community names. Tamara Bonvillain, who's doing the coloring of her career on Batman and Superman World's Finest, among other indies that are awesome. This has been a fun Dark Spaces run. Unexpected. I thought this was a one-shot when I bought issue 1, and then it ended up being a full-on miniseries there. Here is Earth Divers, 1776. I believe this is part 3 of 1776. Written by Stephen Graham Jones. Art by David Guion Felice. Cover B, I believe it is by Guion Felice as well. I believe the cover A's on Earth Divers are by Albuquerque. This shows one of the founding fathers staked up in the back or on top of the Declaration of Independence. This is a series about some indigenous people from the future after the United States and the world has survived a nuclear war and everything's gone to shit. These indigenous people find a magic cave that will transport them to various places in our past, and they're trying to rewrite history to benefit the more indigenous members of us. Yeah. So, all right. Up next is the Alternates, issue number 4, the final finale, cover B, and this is by Tim Seeley. It looks like cover B, Tim Seeley, with colors by Ian Herring, and so this is one of 2 titles that I think one of 3 or 4 titles that I brain farted ordering during that month's pre-order. This one and Project Reese, and I have them right here, and the plot holes. I have not just plot holes, I have holes in all 3 of these runs, and I did find one eBay shop that had those holes in my runs available to purchase on one order, and I'm still waiting for it to arrive in the post because it's Christmas season. But when I do, I will pull out. I have the ones that were next up to read after the holes. When the holes arrive, I will finish these said series. Alternates finishes here with issue number 4 from the Worlds of Minor Threats. Patton Oswalt, Jordan Bloom, and Tim Seeley. Artwork by Christopher Mitten. Tess Fowler, Ian Herring, Nate Pico's also working on this book. I really enjoyed the original Minor Threats miniseries. I enjoyed the first issue of Alternates and did not order number 2, which I'll be getting soon. And I have 3 right there, and now 4. Here's American Psycho cover D. On the back has the classic quote, "I have to return some videotapes." Cover D. Cover D is coming to us by Lorenzo Colangeli. That's interesting. Colangeli. Lorenzo Colangeli. I'm familiar with that artist by name. Now I know what his artwork looks by sight. Pretty nice. Next up, Void Rivals, issue number 2. This is the 4th printing. I believe this is it doesn't show the. I believe this is Mateus Manhanini. I believe this is part of a connecting set that if you have the 3rd printing of issue 2, it'll connect up with that cover. So completes a connecting set by Mateus Manhanini, if I am correct. This is obviously not painted style Mateus Manhanini art, which you're used to on God's covers and other DC covers that he has been doing. Here's the final number 5 2nd printing, cover B, Quintesson variant. Up next, there's a bag and board. All right, now. Up next is Batman and Robin, issue number 4. This is written by Joshua Williamson and has main artist on the title has been Simone DeMeo. And this one, he is helped out by Mikhail Yanin. Actually, Mikhail Yanin is listed as our main artist, or a artist, Mikhail Yanin and Simone DeMeo. This is cover D by Cale New, who's been doing the amazing A covers on the new Invincible Iron Man run by Jerry Dugan. Here is Void Rivals, issue number 1 in a 5th printing. This is a Transformers related cover with our main Void Rivals characters standing in the shadow of Jetfire as he awakes. This is a pretty awesome variant. I think there was a variant before this for number 1 with Optimus Prime on it. It was pretty awesome too. And speaking of Optimus Prime, Here is Transformers #1 in a third printing. Starscream taking on Ratchet here on this variant cover. And this variant is by Gerald Perel and Frederick Pham Chung. Gerald Perel and Frederick Pham Chung. Everybody Pham Chung tonight. That's bad. I might edit that out. No, I'm not. I don't edit things out of my videos. Next up, definitely looking forward to this one. Dark Spaces Dungeon, issue #2. Scott Snyder, Hayden Sherman, Patricia Del Peche. Hayden Sherman is not coloring his own work on this run as of yet. Patricio Del Peche is pitching in to color this. Cover B by Dustin Wynn. The cover B on issue 1 blew me away, and I'll sight unseen even select Dustin's variants for this series. Loved issue 1. Not even possibly about it. It was my favorite single issue of 2023. You can see me get misty about it a few videos back. Here is Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, issue #2 in the B variant by Riley Rossimo. It's a scared pig woman with skull pearls and our serial killer bear hiding out inside her throat. Very, 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 very cool. I wasn't originally going to get all covers on the series until I got a gander at the at this actually, and then I still had time to get the B variant for issue 1 on FOC, so I'm getting both covers throughout the run now. The series has gotten me. Here's Avengers #8 with the Avengers 60th 60th anniversary variant cover by Francis Manipool. This is a inverse of the classic mid-200s, maybe late 180s original cover of Ant-Man about to take the ride on Hawkeye's arrow. This is wonderfully inversed with the Giant Man iteration of Hank Pym with a giant bow and arrow and normal size Hawkeye about to take the arrow ride. I can't remember if I saw this ahead of time, but I didn't get the aspect of the work from seeing it ahead of time. If I did, that's pretty fun. Up next is The Hunger and the Dusk. This is the one that had the curl that I was worried about, but these are card stalkers, so if it gets back into a fully formed box, squished with another $150, it'll eventually flatten out, I'm sure. This is issue 4, cover B by Cliff Chiang. I'm getting A's on the odds and Cliff Chiang B's on the evens. Based on issue 2 alone, issue 2's Cliff Chiang cover jumped out at me, and I'm like, that's how I'm going to collect it. A's on odds, B's on evens. Some people are weird like me and do it like that. Star Wars The High Republic, issue #1 in cover A by Harvey Talabau. So that is what our zine looks like as drawn by Harvey, and this is the other Padawan friend that she met. And on the variant, they look like they're in their 20s as opposed to in their teens, as Harvey is adept at drawing them. So that is one. And I double up on High Republic era books, stack an extra book for future consideration if this is optioned and or brought to film. I'll be on the ready. Next up, I enjoyed issue 1 and 2 of this series. This is the Midnight Show, issue #3 from the the Sixth Gun creative team of Cullen Bunn and Brian Hurt. This is cover B by Kelly Jones. Clearly Kelly Jones. I don't even have to look for a signature. Kelly Jones is an artist you cannot mistake. On sight alone, you cannot mistake Kelly Jones. This is an interesting miniseries coming out of Dark Horse. I believe it's a miniseries. Could end up just being the first arc of an ongoing series. I'm not sure. There's no miniseries signifier on the covers or on the solicits. But this is akin to The Nasty. It's a video store in this case, but in this case, a movie theater receives a cursed print of a movie. Whereas The Nasty, there's an imaginary friend, Jason type figure, driving the action in The Nasty. And whereas this, when you watch the film, the characters from within the film was directed, written, put all together, and acted. All the monster parts were acted all by the same man at the time. And the movie disappeared into obscurity for years and years and years. And when they find this print and are showing it at this theater, these monsters are porting into the real world at that point, as portrayed by this one man. It's been a very interesting series. A good comparison piece to The Nasty in my head. Here is the finale. No, here is the penultimate issue of Catfight from IDW. This is cover A by Elias Chrysius, the main artist of our series. This is written by Andrew Wheeler. With art by Elias Kyriazis. I don't know how to pronounce Kyriazis. I don't know. This has been a fun surprise. I've been getting all of the IDW original books since that initiative began in the summer of 22. I've been getting them pretty much based on that they're the originals. I haven't read anything about the content ahead of time. This is an awesome cover. This is Venom number 28. I guess this is Delgado, maybe? This has got to be actually... I think this is Audi Granoff. This one just said variant on order, and no, obviously no picture of the cover. Didn't even show. It just said artist variant, whatever variant it is. Let's just be. It's on the front. It's on the back, like all these other ones. It's cover C, so it said artist variant C on order, and I never get A covers on Venom. I always get a variant. I'm happy seeing this sight unseen. Very good. Here is Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 39. This is the cover E. The cover E, Ryan Stegman wraparound variant. This got pushed into third week box. I got the foil cover in the second week box. And as I said before, I had been waiting on the Gang War one-shot, which had to be repicked by Discount Comic Service, and showed up also this week along with these. So I'll be able to begin Gang War proper right away when I get to reading. Here is Moon Knight, issue number 30. This is the In-Hyuk Lee variant. In-Hyuk did 28, 29, and 30s variants for this concluding arc of this run on Moon Knight. And this is cover C. In-Hyuk Lee reaching up out of... is he reaching out of a mirror? No, he's buried. He's buried in muddy dirt, and he's reaching up out of the dirt, or sinking, maybe sinking into wet dirt. Here is a Chris Ferguson punk rock homage for cover C for The Madness, issue number 5 of 6, the penultimate issue. This is obviously an homage to the Misfits. This is a classic Misfits album cover that has adorned many a t-shirt. Many a t-shirt. And I just bent back the top cover on an all-black cover. That's not going to help things. So for issue 6 will be the first issue of the madness, where I get not only the punk rock homage cover, but I'm going to get a store exclusive for issue number 6 from Billy at Economics and Comics, a Michael Poolboy McComb variant for issue number 6 that they rustled up in conjunction with AWA, as this is one of Billy's, or is Billy's favorite read of 2023. So up next is The Sandman, Wesley Dodds' The Sandman, issue number 3 of 6. This is by Robert Venditti with art by Riley Rossimo. This is one of the books that suits me. I'm getting that page to open. This is one of the books where the art by Rossimo suits the subject matter of the book, unlike anything that's a gaudy superhero that Rossimo has been landed on. He did some cool work during death metal that I liked. I guess he drew Tim Drake Robin, which I hear is absolutely unreadable. It's written by a writer named Megan Fitzmartin. I'm not sure what her writing style is. I just took the community's advice and that it's terrible. So I may be wrong. They have the first volume of it at the library. I will eventually check it out after I read through the 80 or 90 trades that I already have in my bedroom that I've checked out from the library already. If I ever catch up on those and don't get another 80 in line, I might someday read Tim Drake Robin Volume 1. Who knows? Here is Star Wars, The High Republic, Shadows of Starlight, issue number 3. This is cover A by Phil Noto. And the other one, I can hear my son calling me from the bedroom. I may need to edit and stop. Hammer time. Up next, we got The Outsiders, issue number 2. This is by Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing with art by Mike Carey, Robert Carey, and Valentino Taddeo on colors. Cover A by Roger Cruz. Took care of my son earlier, but he's still yowling back there. You might hear him in the background, you may not. I really enjoyed issue number 1. This is a even more than spiritual successor to Planetary by Warren Ellis and John Cassaday. That series is about a group of astronauts of the archaeologists of the unknown in the world, and this is a couple of DC characters and a new gender swap version of the drummer who are archaeologists of the unknown underbelly of the DC universe proper. So at the end of the first issue, this gender swap drummer is in possession of the leather-bound Planetary guidebook, which dead bang, this is Outsiders in name only and Planetary for sure. My gloves are gone. It's magic. I'm not gonna put them on camera and make a bunch of noise. So anywho, next up is cover B for Hyperspace Stories number 12, the final issue of Dark Horse's initial maxi series after they got the license back from Marvel and IDW. This is cover B. Cover B is Coming at You from Carrie Nord. And this also has a word bubble on the cover. Accelerate to attack speed. So usually one of the two covers would be saddled with a word balloon cover. Usually the Nord variant. I think Nord's done all the B variants now that I think of it. But issue 12, they went double down on the word balloons. But I think issue 7 or 8, neither of the covers had a word balloon. So it kind of evens it out there. Here's Moon Knight issue 30, another variant. We have cover G by Steve Morris. Unfamiliar with Steve Morris by name, but when I saw this variant, I think I saw this when it was on FOC, which was while it was still available. Also, it went on FOC at the same time it was available still to pre-order at Discount Comic Book Service, and it's awesome. It's Moon Knight prying his way out of a desiccated mummy's head. I couldn't pass on it. That's awesome. Am I regretting? No, that's all in the bag. Okay, so I'm not regretting removing the gloves as of yet. Next up, the continuation of the Punisher. The man is different and the mission remains the same. Punisher number 2 from David Pepose with art by, is it Kevin Wachter or is it David Wachter? I know it's David Pepose, so. Quite, what do you call it? Quite a teaser before the titles page in this book. Damn, not yet even. Is it like the last? Is this gonna be one of those books with the last page, title page? It's looking like it. All right. Oh, I just flipped past it somehow. Impatient, Chris. Here we are. We got Punisher, Dave Wachter. It's David Pepose and Dave Wachter with Dan Brown on colors, I believe. Unless he's the letterer. Oh, the book's on the 10th page. Yeah, color artist Dan Brown. Letters are by VC's David Petit. Is it also David? How many Daves are on this book? Obviously more than... There's 3 Daves on this book. That's crazy. Corey Petit. David, Dave, Dan, and Corey. Bringing you Punisher number 2. When I first read issue number 1, it came weeks after the community love it or hate it backlash for issue number 1. Most to me seem to love it, or at least were okay with it. A certain community member that I mentioned earlier vehemently disliked it, and after unloading their feelings, disappeared from content creation entirely. It's now been a month plus going. When I read issue 1, I don't know if I wasn't in the mood or I was simply tired, but I started to skim it pretty quickly and gave up and decided if I don't like this issue, I'll drop it, because I hadn't yet had to order number 3. And then I gave it a second chance, and upon further review, I found out it wasn't just a mutant growth hormone, someone on mutant growth hormone all hulked out. It was actually the character Mr. Hyde, which made the story a bit more palatable and entertaining to me. By the end of the issue, I was on board, and I'll continue to collect this series. And future solicit teases Punisher versus Punisher that we may see Frank appear in the nearer future. House of Slaughter issue number 20, cover B by Werther Dell'Adera. finale to the Alabaster arc with our main character Bait on the cover, and his totem is a series of paper dolls that his sister made for him and became possessed by a monster after her death. But then, I believe, by reading this, you were led to believe it is a monster in the paper dolls at the beginning of said arc, and by the end of the last issue, you realize that it is his sister's soul trapped in the totem, not a monster, as many other totems turn out to be in Somebody's Killing the Children and other House of Slaughters. Here is Radiant Black, issue number 27, cover A by Marcelo Costa. I'm going to put it in its back board. I dropped out of Radiant Black, reading it month to month. I don't think I read the arc preceding the Catalyst War at all because it was coming out sporadically, and I might have read the first issue to the arc and then dropped out after that. Here's House of Slaughter, cover A's by Javier Rodriguez. As I said, I've been stacking three copies of all open order variants. So there's a nice one. Looks like there's a facsimile edition on deck after I get these guys put away. Foil-y facsimile from DC based on the back of Batman Robin Lives from the DC Vault. This is a facsimile of issue number 428 of Batman from back in 1989. This storyline appeared and finished up just before Batman, the movie with Keaton and Nicholson, arrived in late June. And then I believe the week after Batman came out, issue 430, which was Jim Starlin's final run, final issue on his run, released the week after Batman. And that was also the week I opened my a box at my local comic shop in Kenmore, Washington. But this is from the DC Archives, and it features when this issue originally came out. I'm not going to spoil it by showing you the page, but when this issue originally was coming out, this storyline, A Death in the Family, from issues 426 to 429 of the main Batman title, DC, in a publicity stunt, decided to ask comic book fans to decide the fate of Robin version 2, Jason Todd, through a 1-900 number that costs like 99 cents a minute, or perhaps 99 cents a call. I don't know how it worked back in the late 80s. And the votes would be tallied up, and the highest vote would win. So if a higher vote wanted him to live, he would have survived the issue. But in actuality, the higher vote voted for Jason to perish, and he was beaten to death by the Joker and blown up in a warehouse in the original version of Batman 428. This is the alternate version of Batman 428 that they created two versions of the issue and kept this version in the drawer after the vote went against Jason. And I believe, I don't know if it's just the one page, but I know the one page of the alternate version where he's alive. It's just Batman. In the original issue, it shows Batman. His cowl is all black, and he's holding Jason's body, which has been blown to bits, and his shoe is burning off his foot, and he's clearly dead, and you don't see Batman's face at all. It's just a black cowl because he's looking down, defeated. And in the other version of the page, he's looking straight up with a giant smile on his face with actual word balloon that says, "He's alive!" And he's holding Robin. He looks not quite as dead in his arms. And they did reveal that page in a book back in the 90s called DC 50 Years of the World's Greatest Comics by Les Daniels, which was designed by Chip Kidd, who did all of those 50 years of the greatest comics for both Marvel and DC. I believe it was back in the mid to late 90s that book came out, and I remember looking at that book at the library, and I did see that one page with "He's alive." So I don't know if there's other alternative pages of story that follow the "He's alive" page, because obviously this is the first time this version of the issue has been printed in full. Next up is Void Rivals issue number 3 in the third printing. I believe this actually is the connecting variant by Mateus Mahanini. It's either this one or the one I showed previously, and this would connect with issue 3 or 4 in the third printing, or 3 or 4 in the second printing. So I'll find that out later on down the line when I finally get all my comics together. I got another gift certificate for Christmas, which I'm not going to show as a present on the stream or on this video, because it's just a gift certificate. But I got a gift certificate from my local comic shop. Every year I use that to buy more short boxes so I can rehouse my collection that has spilled out of my existing short boxes. So, and then hopefully this time when I get my new boxes, I'm actually going to take a whole day and get all my comics in order by company, by title, all together, not all spread across several bucks. Here is Moon Knight number 30, cover D, the Greg Capullo variant. Greg Capullo has returned to Marvel for cover art duty. I believe it began with this is not his first cover back. I know there's one that precedes this, and I do own it, and it's not coming back to me right now. Here we are. This is Batman, the Gargoyle of Gotham. I saw the back here. It says, "This is how a killer's heart beats." I was thinking this was the next issue of Batman Brave and the Bold, because those comics also have a line of dialogue on the back cover from inside. This is written and drawn by Raphael Grandpa, with those are colors by Matt Lopes. Yep, colors by Matt Lopes, and letters by the great John Workman, who's been doing comics since the 80s. He lettered Simonson's Thor and Fantastic Four runs, among lots of other. He probably lettered Simonson's Orion run at DC. He's been lettering for a long time. But issue 1 was awesome. The art in here is outstanding. And this is the foil variant of issue number 2, which is cover D. It's a DC Black Label title. And yep, the fingerprints are just on the bag. So I guess I should put my gloves on before I make videos from now, because I have to bag and board all the books, and all these bags now have fingerprints on them. Up next, we have the penultimate issue of the Enfield Gang Massacre from Christopher Condon and Jacob Phillips, brought to you on glorious newsprint, like a pulp western comic should be. Loving it. I didn't read the second 2 arcs of That Texas Blood. Didn't stop me from continuing to collect it. I loved the idea of the book. I was there on the ground floor back when I got back into the community. Uh, and I'm glad to be reading this flashback story to the 1800s. I'm loving it. Here is Quick Stops number 1. This is cover B, and this one I believe is by Rafat. The A cover was Nate. Actually, this variant is by someone called Sjogren, single name Sjogren, and it is Movie on the cover. And like I said earlier, a lot of the covers feature Movie on this second run on Quick Stops, and I hope it's not an ongoing connecting story all about Movie throughout the whole series. Here's the penultimate issue of Rogue Sun, issue number 17. This is by Ryan Parrott with art by Abel. Does he have a co-illustrator? Yep, this is by Abel with co-illustrator Marco Renna. Colorist is Natalia Marquez. Lettered by Becca Carey. Cover A by Luana Vecchio of Lovesick. Got fame with Lovesick earlier this year. This is 17. I know there's an 18. There's been no solicits past 18 for months. I don't know if the series concludes with 18 or if it's going to continue on. I know that Dead Lucky is ending with its next issue. I know that Inferno Go Red is getting a second volume because they kickstarted a second hardcover. And I know Radiant Black is still ongoing, and I know No One is a mini-series stopping at 10. Here's Moon Knight number 30. It's maybe the last variant I got. Cover H, the Moon Knight Insignia variant. I don't think there's an artist behind it. I think it's just a White Moon stamp on all black cover. I'm going to Emerald City Comic Con on day 1. If any of this creative team perhaps may be there, on the artist, I may go for remark if possible on that particular cover. I think there is one more Moon Knight variant to come. I know there is. This is Scorched, The Scorched, number 24, written by John Layman, art by Steven Segovia, who returned to the book. He started illustrating the book, dropped off with some fill-ins, which is where I dropped off reading it, and he's been back for quite an uninterrupted run. This is cover A by Z Carlos, featuring She Spawn. I've been trying my best not to get like She Spawn cover on every single issue, like a featured She Spawn every single issue. But sometimes the other variant just, if it's not her, it's still not even very good, and I don't like covers that aren't very good. Here's the penultimate issue of Silver Surfer Rebirth Legacy. This is the cover B, Peach Momoko Nightmare variant, and this nightmare is Silver Surfer proper, melting into and merging with Silver Surfer Black. So I'm not sure whose nightmare it is. Is it Black's nightmare or Proper's nightmare? But there's a whole smear of nightmare variants in late November all through December. I got the Hulk. Got this. I'm not sure how many other nightmares I went for. Here comes some foily goodness with Birds of Prey Uncovered, issue number 1. This is a B variant by Wraparound by David Nakayama. And the conceit behind the Uncovered series is just a cover gallery book. The Joker and Harley Quinn one, and now this one, as I can see, have had little pages of story. It basically makes a story that floats through the covers. And as far as this this particular volume, It's just that front page story. The Joker and the... What's the other one I got? I know I got Joker. And I got the first one, which I can't remember what it is anymore. Poison Ivy. I got Poison Ivy, and I got the Joker. In both of those, the story, there was at least one caption of dialogue per page with the cover, and then several pages of news story and art bridging pages. And it made a story that went through the full book. This one just has that one page of story that looks like it is drawn by Leonardo Romero and colored by Jordi Belair in the style of the book thus far, and then it's just general cover show off book for the rest. Here is Project Reese issue number 5. Forgot to order issue number 3, and then as I said earlier, I found a shop that had Reese issue I missed, the plot holes I missed, and also the alternates that I missed. So I will be able to finish those series thanks to that shop. I will shout them out in that video. Here is the Catalyst War Part 5. This is Radiant Black 27.5. So I have heard via the community that the 27 and the 27.5, aside from, give me a moment here, aside from simply being a connecting job, this is what I assumed was going on there. Let's see if it connects the other way, actually. Ooh, oh, on the floor. There goes some books on the floor. I don't like books on the floor. Well, I don't have a choice anymore. So, let's see. Yeah, this is not the same guy. It connects this way. It's them back to back. Both versions of Black, Nate and I can't remember the other guy's name because it's been a while since I read. I know Nate is one, and Marcus. Marcus? Something with an M. Maybe not even something with an M. But these have been connecting covers. I thought it was just connecting variants, but it is actually the same book twice, but told by Nathan and Marcus. Each book has a different person in narrating the issue. So it's an entirely different read in each issue, and the same read in the same issue at the same time. So that is what I've heard. And I'm interested to, when I do catch up on Radiant Black, which I'm going to have to catch up on a lot because I'm way, way behind. But like that Texas Bud, I'm in on it, the Massiverse, till the end. Here is Star Wars Shadows of Starlight, issue number 3, in cover B. Let's see if I can catch the signature. The signature says B. That doesn't tell me a lot. Bengal. It's not the Ben Harvey spoiler. The Ben Harvey spoiler was the Wookiee Jedi, which was a ratio of 1 in 25. So this is Ben Harvey on the Open Order B variant. And it is a Jedi with the little horsey Star Wars Galaxy character. I don't know if these are the little guys who are running the horse races in Last Jedi, or if they're different species of monster or creature. Here is Killmore, issue number 3, cover A by Max Allan Fuchs, titled In Lieu of Flowers. This is written by Scott Bryan Wilson with art by Max Allan Fuchs, and the colors are by Valentina Brisky. So the writer and the artist have proper serial killer names, 3 named men, Robert Theodore Bundy, John Wayne Gacy, you know, all right. Need I say more? Here is the finale to X-Men Red, issue number 18. This is by Al Ewing. This is the 60th, X-Men 60th anniversary issue. X-Men 60th variant cover by Lionel Castellani. This is written by Al Ewing with art by, I can never pronounce this guy's name. With art by Yildiray Sinar. Yildiray Sinar was drawing the Marvels book by Kurt Busiek with the Alex Ross covers, which was kind of like in spirit related to the original Marvels by Busiek and Ross. But this ends X-Men Red, and this is December's issue. Starting in January, we're having the fall of the House of X and the rise of the Powers of 10 miniseries kicking off to conclude the Krakoa era. And I guess when the Krakoa era concludes, so will Arakko on Mars, I presume, because X-Men Red reaches its conclusion in December. And Al Ewing's next work that he'll be working on during the rise and fall will be the Resurrection of Magneto miniseries, which will be, I assume, will continue off from the finale of X-Men Red number 18. Masterpiece number 1, cover B by Tula Lotay. Gotta be Lotay. You can just kind of tell. Cover B by Tula Lotay. This is by Brian Michael Bendis and Alex Maleev. Dead Bang creative team. Loved Scarlet. Loved Moon Knight. Loved Daredevil. Loved whatever their title was, that DC's version of what is this shit called at Marvel? I mean, what is his imprint called at Dark Horse now? From the creators of Scarlet comes the origin of the new criminal. President Masterpiece. Jinx World. So, whatever the DC, I think it was cover, maybe was Maleev, which was about a comic book creator who's, the next one's sweet. But I'm not seeing my last Moon Knight variant. Maybe I got shorted. I'll have to look at my order form for the month. Or maybe, no, the foil is Moon Knight number 1, not Moon Knight number 30, I think. Okay. Masterpiece is from Jinx World, which is Bendis' imprint that he had it at Marvel. He's always had it at Dark Horse. He's had it at Image, of course. And now he is back at Dark Horse and bringing Jinx World back there. He had it at DC with cover and the one with Gatos. Pearl was great. Cover was great. Cover, I hope we'll get another volume at Dark Horse because it was good. It was a comic creator who's co-opted by the CIA mid-convention. And now he's doing work for the CIA as undercover as a comic creator. Good undercover because he is a comic creator. Last but not least, the second of the lenticular variants for Beast World, Titans Beast World, issue number 2. This is by Tom Taylor, Ivan Rice, and Danny Miki, as was issue 1. And you can see the back of the number 1, because I had it in its bag and board when I reviewed it. But the backs are looking cool like this, with goes from tiger stripe to leopard print. And then on the front we have Black Adam morphing into Lion Adam. That's awesome. Both of these so far have been just too sweet. Anyway, they've been awesome. That's only part of it. That's crazy. Crazy week from Discount Comic Book Service. So I ordered issue 1 on FOC from Billy because I wasn't sure I was going to collect the series until I found out about these. And then I ordered 2 from Discount Comic Book Service. And then I checked again in January. No, I found out that number 3, this is a every other week series while I was making a video, talking about a video. And then when I finished making the video, I rushed back to Discount Comic Service to see if it was still the month that they had this on pre-order. And it already moved to the next month. And of course, the next month, they had 4, 5, and 6 for January. So 3, I also had to order the lenticular from Billy. And it'll be a while before I finish Beast World because the order I made for issue 3 lenticular is the same order with Kneel Before Zod number 1, which I believe comes out in January. And then it features both covers of The Sickness number 4, which who knows when it's going to come out, because issue 1 was supposed to come out in the summer. It came out in September. Issue 2 came out of the blue in like November. And then this third issue, or maybe it was like August, late September, and then November. It's coming out when they feel like it coming out. All right, finally for this chunky video, we have an FOC pre-order from Billy at Economics and Comics. It's not going to take as long as I took on my reviews or my one thing or whatever. Okay, it's gonna be short but sweet. Okay, prefacing this, I ordered Alien number 2 from Discount Comic Book Service. The variant B they had up for open order was by Lionel Francis Yu, if I remember correctly. After they canceled my order for Lionel Francis Yu, was a notice saying this is a ratio variant and we can't give you a ratio variant at discounted cover price because it's not open order. I'm okay with that. But then after they canceled my order, they still had the A cover up for pre-order ahead of time, and they still had that U cover up on their site for other people that order ahead of time, but not for like $25, $50 that they always charge for their ratios. But it's still up there at that same price. I'm not going to order it again just to have it canceled. And then I found out that the cover B was actually by Andrea Broccardo, and I only found that out on FOC week when Billy showed it off on his FOC stream. And so I went, oh, so that's what the B cover is. I get only B covers on Alien and C covers if they exist. So this is the Broccardo cover B for Alien number 2, which is a direct continuation of the first series of Alien by Declan Shalvey and Andrea Broccardo as artist. They did their first 5-issue series earlier this year, and then they did the annual. And now this is a 4-issue second volume by Declan Shalvey and Broccardo. And the second trade will feature 4 issues and that annual as the second collector's edition. And this is, I believe, the 4th volume of Alien, possibly the 5th. And coming up soon is Aliens, Black, White, and Blood. And I've had covers for that canceled for, they put up a ratio for a cover price. But there's like 7, 8 covers for number 1, so I have plenty of variants to choose from for that series. I'm looking forward to Black, White, and Blood. Hopefully it'll have like more like standalone short like shocker stories rather than just Wayland Yutani showing up on every planet in the universe sniffing alien and twirling their snidely whiplash mustaches. Because every series of Aliens, whether by Philip Kennedy Johnson or now by Shelby, has been the same plot. And this is a cool one. I got this one based on cover art alone. This is Guma, the idea of her. Guma, the beginning of her. This series is by a guy who's primarily a cover artist. I'm blanking on the name. Oh, Yi Hung Lee, who's been doing a lot of DC work on cover work. And this is a cover H by Peach Momoko. It's a version FOC variant by Peach Momoko, and this is this pairs very well with the second printing one per store World Tree Peach Momoko cover that I ordered from Discount Comic Book Service when I found it up on there. It has the same kind of dripping motif and same kind of circle around the character behind. I'm going to try to show these up side by side on screen when I finally organize my comics. Yeah, this is written and created by Ji Hung Lee, and pencils and inks are by Nemetsi Zitro, who I believe the first time I saw Zitro was as a variant for Venom. That was the first time I'd ever seen Zitra's art, if I'm thinking of the same person. Could be wrong. But I thought this was going to actually be drawn by Yi Hung Lee too. But I guess he's slow because he's a cover artist. So, but I guess he can write fast enough so he can get someone else to draw quickly for him. I'm not going to collect this series. I just got it as a Peach cover by. Because I didn't just want to order this and pay $12 for one comic. You know what I'm saying? All right, I think enough is enough. I may whack this into several videos through editing since I had to stop and attend to my son earlier, or I may just splice it together and let it roll at going on 3 hours. So consider this the avatar of the Mad Respect in that case. All right, everybody take care out there. I hope you all had an excellent Christmas. I did. I got my brownies. This is not an NFL hat related to brownies. It's just thematically linked to dark brown and orange. That's brownies. And not to discount my Hawks. Go Hawks. NFC versus AFC, my preferred Super Bowl, because I would not care who won. I love it all. My teams. Browns are just inches away from being in on the AFC side, and the Seahawks gotta take care of their business and they'll be in, and then both of them will be bounced early, and then it will be like Miami and Philadelphia in the Super Bowl, and it will be just as unwatchable or uninteresting as the last 14 Super Bowls have been since Super Bowl 39, was it? No, 48. No, 48, we won it all. So since Super Bowl 49, there's been what was that? That's 14 now. So 9 or 10 Super Bowls. The last one I had any skin in and gave a shit about, because I actually had a TV at the time, was Patriots and Falcons. When the Falcons had that run up that big lead and the Patriots started coming back, and then I went from that's awesome, it's good to see the Patriots finally eating shit, to like, oh no, I definitely got to root for them. If Atlanta's really blowing this lead, I got to switch my allegiance here and go Pats. Anyway, all right, enough about football. Everybody take care out there in the community, and we will see you in the next one.